Corbin Dallas.
Corbin Dallas multipass. Multipass.
Chicken.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Unhitched or Dad Trying. I am the hitched part, and I'm a dad trying.
Yeah.
What about this other part over here?
I am the part. The unhitched part.
You absolutely are. And we have the lovely Lauren Neat with us.
Aw, shucks.
Aw.
Thanks.
I've never seen a compliment just so like rejected with positivity. I don't know.
I absorbed it. I did not reject it.
It didn't seem like you absorbed it.
I felt lovely.
It felt like it was like maybe hitting the skin and it might be absorbed in a little while. I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at me. I think you're being generous.
You're covered in blankets.
I'm wrapped in a blanket.
You look like an inside-out watermelon right now. Not in... The color scheme looks like that of an inside-out watermelon.
You're right.
Lauren.
I'm wearing a bright green shirt wrapped in like a watermelon-y colored blanket.
You look like, it's like and kind of like a taco right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to take a
Photographic evidence.
Yeah. See, no, you're covered in the green part, so it's just you just look
sorry,
like
I ruined it.
It's okay. That's fine. Lauren, how is you?
I is great.
Mm-hmm.
I am great. I've had a lot of. It feels like a long time since we did this. It's been what, 2 weeks?
It has been 2 weeks.
It feels longer for some reason. I feel like a lot's gone down.
Mm-hmm. So what's been going on over the past 2 weeks expanse in your world?
My world, lots of working.
Yeah,
as per usual.
Usual for the home listener.
Thank you.
Thought you
were about to say for the homeless person.
Homeless person too. We don't want to exclude them.
Everyone can listen.
Yeah, but they can't live in our home.
That's sad.
That's true.
I mean,
we only have so much room.
Then they would no longer be called homeless.
That's true. So in essence, is a homeless person still homeless once they're in your home?
Amy votes yes.
Amy votes yes. Okay.
Interesting. It's a state of being, she says.
State of being.
So
like a verb?
Like
or noun?
I am hungry. That's a state of being. So like hungry. Anyway, this is too much thinking for a Tuesday evening. I'm not feeling it. I've been great. Working hard. I've been really working out a lot, Cameron.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been working out and I've been like feeling strong and like getting my endurance back, and man, I really like it. I'm always like, why do I stop? But I've
been 100% feeling the exact same way as you lately. So where have you been going? Have you just been working out at the office or the apartment, or
at the office? Yes, at my little office gym, and also my little apartment gym.
Nice.
And I've been doing yoga in my living room
with some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
There's this girl like yoga with Adrian or something, and it's just
of course we all know about Adrian.
You do?
Well, I mean prenatal yoga with Adrian, not regular yoga.
Oh, how much prenatal yoga have you done, Cameron?
Have I done? I have. I've watched creepily as my wife has done it. But I'm in the know. If I needed to do one of those poses, sure, I could do it for a second or two.
Sure, you should do yoga.
I kind of am.
Not prenatal, but natal.
Natal?
Or non-natal?
Non-natal. I think
postnatal.
Postnatal, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we have had a baby, so it is postnatal. So,
it's like Sharknado.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's name all the kinds of the NATOs. You got your prenatal, you got your natal, you got your postnatal, and of course Sharknado. Sharknado 2, Sharknado 3.
Sharknado Revenge of the Shark.
Is that one?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, so I've been working out. I went to Austin last weekend.
You did.
For a wedding. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous wedding. Congratulations, Ben and Madison. And we did hot yoga while we were there. My friend Amber and I
was about to say that's the worst wedding in the world.
At the reception, we all did hot yoga. No, that'd be so funny. We might as well have. It was super hot in there. We were all sweating like crazy, dancing so much. But I did hot yoga in Austin.
Just walk out onto the dance floor. Let's get this started. Okay.
Downward dog.
All right. Downward dog. Yeah. All right. Everyone's like, well, I guess we got to join her. I don't want to be the weird one still sitting at the table.
Yeah, I don't want to say no.
So it was an indoor or outdoor wedding?
Indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. It was at the Driscoll Hotel.
Yeah. What? Don't.
Now Cameron's feet are on the table.
I need to relax a little more. Okay.
I know.
Fine.
You need to get on my level.
Yeah.
I am so relaxed.
I also figured if I take this space, it can't be inhabited by
my feet.
That's true.
So yeah, my friend and I did hot yoga in Austin. Have you ever done hot yoga, Cameron?
No, I feel like I have, just because anytime someone describes it to me, I feel the pain of that person having gone through it, and I don't know. I don't need to experience hot yoga. So is it like step one, what? You make yourself as miserable as possible. Step two, begin yoga.
Oh, step one, you walk in and you go, oh, it's really warm in here. I didn't realize this was hot yoga. That's what you say every time, because you never intentionally walk into hot yoga. And then you look down and you're like, is it going to stay this hot? I guess it is. This is the point. And then you're just like dripping nonstop sweat.
And you pay for this?
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
You pay to basically do yoga in a sauna.
I guess there is a heater expense. Is it like humid, or is it a dry heat, or?
This was a humid heat.
Ooh.
But I don't know if I can really claim that, or if I was just the one causing the humidity in the room.
How does one cause humidity?
You just sweat so much.
You're like a low swell coming in, from I-35 down to Austin. I don't know.
I walked in like full of water, like a wet sponge, and then just as I stretched, it just slowly like squished out of me and like infiltrated the room, and the room became humid. That's how I imagine I can make the room humid.
I completely, yeah, absolutely. I've been sponge like too. You know what? I get the sponge analogy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So why you're on vacation though? Why are you doing that? That's so weird.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm really trying to meet my fitness goals.
What are your fitness goals?
I want to remember my goals are, lose weight, lose poundage, and then also I want to surf by the end of the year, like be physically fit enough to like surf and surf well. And I want to climb.
Surf and surf well.
I don't just want to surf like every
I want to surf and surf
time.
swells.
Hey, bro, let's go together. Let's go surf.
I know.
We talked about this.
That is an episode, and
right.
I'm very well aware of it. I have not forgotten about that.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I want to climb to the top of the tallest rock wall in like one of the rock wall climbing buildings.
Yeah, rock climbing buildings.
Rock climbing buildings. I've obviously done a lot of research on this one. But I really want to do that. And I also have a cruise coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So what's your goal with the cruise?
To not look like a manatee washed up on board the ship in a bathing suit.
I'm just picturing how did this manatee get up here? Like, just like an actual cruise. There's a manatee on board. I don't know.
Yeah, and that would be me in a swimsuit. No.
Look, I'm there with you with the surfing.
Yeah.
I get that. Beach Cam is ready. He's been dead for a while. He's ready to be resurrected. I did not mean to make this. Hey, it's almost Easter.
It is.
Wow, I'm not. This is not good.
What a comparison. Go on, Beach Cam.
Yeah. So Beach Cam needs to be resurrected. He's washed onto the shore, and the townspeople have shoved him back into the ocean, and then he's hoping to come back again. Wow, what is up with these analogies? No, I want to. I loved surfing when you it sounds so cheesy, and I know that whenever you hear a surfer dude talking about surfing and you watch these documentaries, I don't know if any normal people watch surfing documentaries, like Endless Summer, a classic surf documentary.
I've never seen it, actually.
Two good ones, Endless Summer and Step Into Liquid. Great ones. When you watch it, you're like, I want to do that. I want to do that bad. But when you do it and when you catch the perfect, it just sounds so cheesy coming out of my mouth because I know so many people say it, but when you catch the perfect wave, when you ride it, you have control. You can go left and you can go right. It is the most fun thing in the world. There's really no other experience like it. You really do feel like you're kind of flying. It's the closest thing to flying if you get it right. I
want to experience that. I experienced like the joy of a beginner surfer, like knees wobbly, being like, I'm doing it, but like not.
Your
like
surfer instructor pushes you into the wave.
Exactly.
And the board's so big that you could already stand on it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I mean, it was fine. I had a wonderful time, but I can only imagine how great it is when you get better.
When did you do this? Like a Hawaii trip or something like that?
No, that was my Morocco trip.
Morocco? I didn't realize you surfed in Morocco.
Yeah, we went to a surf camp.
That makes complete sense because I remember when I went to Morocco, I was excuse me, I was in my little high school surfing phase, and the waves there were insane. The Atlantic waves, aside, you couldn't surf because every human, I think, that was on this planet all was on the beaches of Morocco. It was insanely crowded, but the waves were so turbulent. They were insane when I was there. My
instructor tried to take us out to one of those big waves, and Angela and Liz went, and he looked at me, he's like, Shakira, because that's what he called me,
sure,
my blonde curly hair.
I get it.
He was like, Shakira, are you coming? And I was like, no. And he's like, come on, give it a try. And I looked at him and I go, no. I was the worst out of all of us. I was like, I'm going to die out there. So I sat on the beach and I watched them all,
arms folded.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, distant shouts, hey, it's great. Oh, look at you.
No, if I heard that, I would have gone out there. I heard a lot of I just saw a lot of boards flying in the air with no body near them. And I was like, I made the right choice.
Yeah, because there are days I've been surfing and I've said no. Like you typically, when you live in Houston your whole life, the only place you can go is either Surfside or Galveston. And you only go when there's like a swell or there's the hurricane or something on the coast, because that's the only time that makes waves big enough to actually ride. But there have been some times, like for instance, one time when I was in college, there was a tropical storm. And this is crazy to me because on occasion you get these little micro tropical storms that could just kind of form all of a sudden. And like even meteorologists can't predict them. And it kind of happened. And I was like, hey, it's kind of getting a little dark outside. And I'm like, I'm wondering if the waves are any good. And I went out and they were like the perfect crisp, like curly waves. And I went out there and I started surfing for a little bit. And then I started to notice that people way back behind me, deeper into the ocean, were like on these just even larger waves. And I was like, you know what? That looks like fun. But something tells me I need to get out, and I just got out, and I sat on the beach, and I was watching everyone, and I'd watched people like almost drown. And this one dude, his board went up, hit him in the head. He was fine, but like he came in, and it was just a mess. And so I'm like,
thank you, instincts.
Yes,
thank you.
I know.
I wasn't ready to die in the water today.
I know. Well, you have many experiences like that. So the question is, where are we going to go?
We could go to Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah, there's this great place. Anyway, we should talk about surfing. We could talk about surfing this whole episode, but
yeah,
I want to know how you are.
Cam is fine. I've been busy with work too. April and August are like the two busiest months for me, and so I do a lot of screenings and health education. Went to a diabetes conference. Learned all sorts of things about how to really kind of work practically with patients where they're at in life and how to encourage them when things are crazy, when money is tight, and when just stress is just overwhelming, just how do you practically help people live with diabetes, live well, and live healthy, and like really get them to a place where they can live to 110 with diabetes. Just, hey, I'm going to help you manage this. Help yourself manage this. And so that's really what the conference was about. But it was also time, for it was kind of an internal conference. And so one of the ladies who kind of manages all diabetes education for the really 2 hospital systems, she was there and she was giving away awards at the end of the day. And so one of the awards was, the best clinic that has this program and how well they've done with their diabetes education. And there's like 12 clinics, and my clinic unfortunately didn't win, but she she called this one clinic onto the stand, and they all get up there, and she was just speaking these words of encouragement, and she was like, and she's, the best thing about it is she's Australian, and she says all the little Australian things that you love to hear from an Australian, like crikey. And she's just got a loving spirit, and she just wants to encourage you and just get you to do your absolute best. And so she called them onto stage, and she was hand clapping and just like, you got this. I'm so glad y'all won. Y'all been working your butts off this year. And somewhere in all this phrasing, I kind of got lost into it because she's just overly encouraging. It's hard to take it all in. But everyone in the auditorium, about over 100 people, paused when she was talking to the person leading the program at this clinic, and she's like, you there, you've done such a great job. You've really known how to take life by the and she did this cupping motion with her hands, supination, is that it? Like when the hand goes like this?
You know what? I wouldn't know that answer for you.
So she does this hands up, palms up, and you really take life by the horns, and just misdirected it. And man, I've never heard so many muffled giggles in all my life. It was ringing. There's just a soft giggling, and everyone was so serious, but you can just tell this is a lady that when she's at home, she says exactly what she wants, and she does that for the most part at work. But it's just, man, if she just would have let 3 more letters out of her mouth, 4, if to make it plural, it would have made my week. And but that just keeps coming into my head and bringing a smile to my face. So that's what's going on with me.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had fun at your conference.
I did. I'm dandy. Ellie is being so sweet, and she's being, I don't know, just super cute, super easy to go around town with. We've been doing a lot of stuff lately, now that I think about it.
You've been out and about? You've been free?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Well, I just realized that you're doing the spring thing, that you're fidgeting with the little springs on our microphone stands.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've forgotten how to do this.
It's all good.
Okay.
They're fun to play with. I mean,
yeah.
I totally get that. That's some good bass.
Cut it out, Cameron.
It sounds. Listen to this. It sounds very ominous.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like the army from Mordor is coming.
Oh no. Okay, so you've been out and about. You've been free. I
feel like we just have a child that's finally along for the ride, and it's been great. Like, people have said that you do you, go out, do your thing. That child's along for the ride, and that's what we're doing. She is coming along life's ride, and it's great.
Good.
Still limited and things that we can do, and still having to balance that. Like, when is this disturbing other people, or when am I being overly crazy about something? And like, because for me, it's like, stop crying, or like I feel like we need to get the check really quick here, and I'm like, I have to catch myself, and Amy will help, and just like, hey, she's fine. Like, we're really not disturbing anyone else, and I I don't know. So I've been learning to relax a little, and that's been helpful over the past week. And so just been going out a lot.
Good. I'm glad. You guys are rebirthed into this world.
What did you
You've been rebirthed into this world.
That sounds like a...
With Ellie's birth, you have now been rebirthed. Anyway.
I just love the term rebirth. It sounds like, you have these aliens movies. You have like Alien Prometheus and Covenant, and then you have Alien Rebirth.
Those are like my biggest fears, those movies. We've talked about this.
I know, but there are some...
How could you bring those up so close to bedtime?
I know. Is that really? So have you seen the new It trailer? No, there's one out, and it's quite freaky. Never seen it, but...
No, I don't see horror movies.
What's worse, xenomorphs or killer clowns that live in storm drains?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
You make an assessment.
I have to choose, then I guess xenomorphs, because storm drains are like right by my house.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And clowns, they're only some makeup away from and a knife away from killing you.
Right.
Just two things. For space, and you need like NASA, and you need a bunch of people. You got to get to space.
Right. You got to get there first. That's years of training.
Yeah. But on the contrary, when you're in a storm drain, maybe some people can hear you scream, but when you're in space, no one can hear you scream.
Oh, dang it, Cameron. Yeah. I'm impressionable.
Are you... So seriously, would you potentially go home and have a nightmare based off...
Probably not. But
Really?
I have had nightmares before, just when someone mentioned Jurassic Park to me. That night I then had a nightmare about dinosaurs.
What does a dinosaur do to you in a dream?
Chase me and try to eat me. This was literally like a year and a half ago. This wasn't a long time ago.
So you didn't see Jurassic World, or...
I did. Jurassic World didn't upset me. Jurassic Park, for some reason, I don't know. I don't know why.
I get that. I mean, the raptors did freak me out. That kitchen scene,
Scary.
horrifying.
You know what else is horrifying?
What's horrifying?
Being single.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, let's segue on top of that segue.
Oh.
Let's talk about a little single event or a single experience.
Sure.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, it is.
Let's
Is this our topic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Boom, 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 topic thunder. What? This week we decided to do something super fun, kind of normal, but very like living in the city, after work hangout. We did happy hour.
Yeah.
So I
feel like a cheap morning DJ. Yeah, we totally did. Lauren, tell them about it right now.
All right, what you're gonna do is, so basically, remember, I am the single woman. Cameron is the married father.
Yes,
man.
I agree.
So we both did this thing, and we're comparing now our experience with happy hour and what it's like.
I like when you talk. You're obviously talking to the listener right now, but I love it how physically here in our little den living room area, when you talk into the mic, when you talk to the listener, you actually look at the microphone. And when you talk to me, you look at me. That's good. But when you talk to the listener, you look straight down at the microphone. And it's so great.
I feel weird about it, knowing that I'm informing the listener.
Yeah. Hear these words, listener.
Hear them. I look cross-eyed. So, yeah, that's our premise. So, Cameron, the married father.
Yeah.
I want him to go first, talking about his happy
sure.
hour. Which I think is a really funny thought of you at a happy hour for some reason.
You thought you'd do one of Lauren's classic gotchas with me, but that was not the case this weekend. I took it, I flipped it, reversed it, put my game down.
Flip it and reverse it.
Yeah, exactly. And so we went to a local, just a little beer tap.
Who's we?
Me and Amy and Baby. Mm-hmm. Just went on a Sunday. There's a neat little place in town called On Rotation. It's got beers, many of them of which are on rotation, and they have their own little brewery inside, and it's a neat little place. We've never been there before. Our local favorite bar that Amy and I like to go, and like our whole church group and just all of our friends like to go to shut down. The little ginger man over here.
I know.
And it's such a bummer because we were really enjoying the space. No one was ever there.
Which is why it shut down.
Exactly. Luckily, it's still a great bar, and our buddy still works at one of the other locations. But the local bar now is another mile or two away from us, but it's still great. So on rotation, they have about 6 of their own beers on rotation, and then they just have all these kind of like their own beers are like experimental. They just do all this weird stuff. Like they make hibiscus beers, and they make like one of the ones I got was like jalapeno, and it's just I think they just brewed some beer and threw in some sliced jalapenos, and it was like sweet and it was a little spicy, and it was really great. Like I know it sounds really dumb, and I know some people are purist in how they like their beers, and you just have these crazy IPA people, but this was really good. I don't know. I don't like the beer part of it was just, man, it was on fleek. I could still say that. Who's just
you said that with a question mark afterwards. You on fleek?
I said that because it died. I don't see any reason for it to die. I still
bring it back, Cam.
It doesn't. I'd say it never left.
On Tap was on fleek.
On Tap on fleek, and OTOF. And I don't know. Amy, like, we enjoyed it for a good solid 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I got a phone call. All the bad news in the world came all at once. This was the other part of my week. Crazy things happened. I got a phone call from my brother, and I knew something happened to my mom the previous night, and I tried to call her and all this stuff, but basically I found out from a phone call. I got all the details with what happened with my mom's house. Basically, my mom's garage burnt down, and there's extensive smoke damage and all this crazy stuff going on with my mom's house in Houston. My brother calls to tell me that very same night his house flooded, like toilet overflowed, and the damage was pretty bad. And so like all this stuff is happening to like my family in 2 different cities, and it's just sucks,
man.
And so dealing with that stuff, I mean they're dealing with it, and it's frustrating because you just kind of feel limited, and I'm just kind of sitting there listening to like what's really going on, and it's just like you just feel helpless and hopeless. Like you want to help, and I know my mom knows I want to help, and it's like, but how do I practically help? And
right.
So talking to my brother for a little while, and my brother's been in good spirits about it. And then, so all that happens in the middle of us drinking a beer, but you know, we're out. They got these doors that open up, so it's like nice, and the weather's perfect. Everything's perfect about just this place. It's not crowded. There are other babies in there, and like some young kids, and like not young kids, I mean like little hipster dudes.
They're all having their own beer.
I know each child's got their own 40.
Yeah.
And they're playing 40 hands. And then I don't know. So they're babies, they're families, and then they're just a good mix of people. Everyone's enjoying themselves. And then I didn't realize that Amy's gone away in the middle of my phone conversation. She took Ellie up. Anyway, the baby crapped all over herself. Like, not just, ha ha ha, that's funny. You just go change her. Like, it's like the baby crapped on herself and she was upside down. And so I didn't even know. I found all this out post horrific phone call. And I'm sitting there, and I get off the phone with my brother, and I watch as Amy comes back with Ellie in hand and just a naked baby. Just walking into this bar with this naked baby that has a diaper on. I mean, just a diaper, so not fully naked, but just comes in, and I'm just like,
wasn't she clothed before?
Yeah. I'm like, wait, we're not at home. This is weird. Okay. Like you just feel weird when you see your daughter coming into an establishment with no clothes on. It's just kind of unsettling. And then I just kind of realized it hit me like, oh, this is one of those dad things that I'm supposed to get used to because kids are crazy and life is crazy. And so, like, I just did a whole heap of coping with the out-of-hand situation at hand. And, yeah.
Did you just like sit there and enjoy your beer with little naked Ellie?
Little naked Ellie, yeah. We're just kind of running through it, and she's getting a little fidgety. We're going to have friends over later. So what was going to be a nice kind of 45-minute beer, maybe reading some comics and like hanging with the family on this nice day, turned it into, you know, like a 10-minute beer crap attack with horrifying.
Bad news.
Yeah, it's such a bummer. Yeah, so
man, that does not sound like a happy hour.
It
sounds like an unhappy 15.
An unhappy 15.
Yeah,
it really was.
You know, mom and dad need their drink.
Yeah, mom and dad got to get their drink on.
Sometimes you need a break, and you want to sit outside on a lovely weekend and have a nice beer.
Yeah, that's true. I get that.
Yeah,
so, that's me. How are you? How is it for you?
My happy hour?
Oh gosh. Tink.
Our feet just touched. So my happy hour, which first of all, we might have to call in a little like referee technicality.
Technicality, no dumb boo over?
I feel bad because I did not specify. In my head, happy hour's like after work happy hour. You know what I mean? What y'all did was like a patio hang.
Yeah.
You know,
technically happy hour, though.
But is there a happy hour on Sunday?
I think happy hour is only defined by price and discounts. Was
there a happy hour during that time?
I really don't know. We had to leave so fast, but it was in the hours of
what a normal happy hour would be. Okay, I might let this slide.
You're not the boss of me now.
I am the podcast boss.
And you're not so big.
You're right. You are taller than me, but still, I will stand on a chair. I will let it slide. You guys sound like you had...
It doesn't need to slide. It's okay.
It'll slide out just like Ellie's. Anyway.
Closed it, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, my happy hour, it was on Thursday. And it was actually an Aggie happy hour.
Oh.
It was the first time I've ever done that before.
Yeah?
And
why?
Well...
Who did you go with? Because you didn't just walk into that.
Oh, no. I went with Liz, Caitlin, and Cheney.
Sure.
So three other Aggies that I went to college with.
Mm-hmm.
And so those girls, it'd be fun no matter where we went or what we did. I think this was more of a social experiment for all of us to finally go to one of these things and just be like, here we are. And so you walk in. It was at the Haymaker, which is near Lower Greenville. It's kind of a cool place. Huge outdoor.
Oh, yeah.
Picnic tables. They have good food, too. So we walk in. There's a place where you get your name tag. So you go.
No.
Yep. You write your name down. You put the year you graduated. Slap it on your shirt. And then you feel awkward. That's like what happens exactly. So we were there. We ended up running into a girl who was in our impact camp when Liz, Cheney, and I were counselors. So we saw her from college. And then it just got weird. Like, it was just weird. Everyone was so, like, that feeling of you're staring at everyone, but you're not brave enough to go talk to anybody. But you're just staring at them from your table and you're with your friends and you're like, I came here to meet people, but I'm not actually going to meet anybody.
Right.
And so I saw this guy that I've seen at improv before. Mm-hmm. He's in another class. And I went up and I was like, hey, do you take improv at Dallas Comedy House? And he was like, yeah, I do. And turns out he's like class of like 2016 or something.
Jeez.
Not really 16, maybe 15 or 14. I don't know. But he was just a lot younger than me. But he was in improv classes. So he's like, do you want to come meet my friends? And I was like, sure.
I'll meet some of the young fellers.
I'll meet some of the youngins. And because he looked at me and he goes, it can be really awkward to be at these things on your own. And I was like, that was really nice.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I was really impressed with that. And so I go, actually, I'm with all these girls. And he goes, oh, I go, do you want to meet my friends? So he met my friends and I migrated the women over to meet his friends. Because there was this like feller over there in that group that I was like kind of making eyes at, but then nothing ever came of it. And I'm very much okay with that. Because then I saw his name tag and it was like class of 15.
Class of E.
What is?
I don't know. Classy.
Oh, that's good.
Big yeah.
So yeah, it turned into a bit of an awkward evening. There was someone that was kind of a Klingon a little bit.
Oh, my favorite of the Star Trek species.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I actually ended up leaving the happy hour, abandoning Liz, the ride that took me there.
How did you leave? Did you Uber it
I
out?
went with Cheney, and we went to watch our friend Trent perform at Union Coffee Shop. So he played some music. So I left, and I was gonna go back.
I just pictured Trent doing like thumb magic tricks or something like that. I had no idea that he's a musician.
Oh, he's actually really talented.
Oh.
He's one of those people that you can say, play this song, and he'll just like take a few seconds on the piano and then just know how to play it.
That's the more and more I get to know Trent, the more and more I like the dude.
He is a mysterious person.
Yeah, we'll have him on one week.
He would be fun.
He would be.
He will be.
Maybe we should have a musical episode.
We should.
I don't know what that means, but we should. So you left your friends and you went to, dare I say, to another happy hour, or what time?
No, this was more like 9. So happy hour was over. It was, I will say, it was nice being out and about and like rubbing shoulders with people I didn't know.
Making eyes, rubbing shoulders. Just like trying to be more like of a putting myself out there. Even though I do pretty well putting myself out there. I'm not a shy person at all. No.
But you kind of get used to the same people. And I was like, this would be fun. I almost looked at it as a social experiment in a way. And also for the podcast.
That's exactly what this is at the end of the day.
So it was fun. I got to meet a bunch of new people. I don't think I'll be going back to another Aggie happy hour.
That's fine. I'm gonna like you better for that.
But I was on their Instagram.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah,
wow.
A picture of us.
You were on a movie this year,
Instagram.
and you were on an what? What do you mean? Who's they? A&M?
Dallas Ags.
Dallas
the
Ags.
Instagram handle. Mm-hmm.
So is that just like an unofficial club, or like?
It's like the Dallas Alumni Association, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was great. I felt a little awkward.
What'd you drink?
Tequila with club soda and lime.
Classy.
It's my new drink of choice. I love it because I love tequila. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but
I don't think you're crazy.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah, tequila is fun.
I mean, it makes me sound like I will be an alcoholic, but for the most part, I like tequila as I do like things pretty simple when it comes to liquor. Mm-hmm. And there's something about tequila that, like, even tequila with just a straight lime would be good to me.
Yeah, and then tequila mockingbird, that's really good.
Ooh, what's that? What's that?
Tequila mockingbird.
I get the joke. What's in the drink?
Nothing. I've just made that up. I'm gonna actually nickname my drink Tequila Mockingbird.
I think we need that. So we need to. Okay, we have the name. We have the name for our new business.
Right.
Let's build around it. Okay. Start with that name.
Copyright us.
There'll be like a tequila book reading club or something like that.
Yes.
It would work.
And the song always going on in the background is.
Yep. Anytime I hear that song, I think of throwing up.
Sandlot.
And you know why?
Sandlot.
Yep. Absolutely.
But before we give our rating, actually, no, let's give our rating, and then I want to bring something up. Yeah, I want to do that. Okay. No cheatsies. You went first, so you have to go first this time. I'm going to have my score in my head. Ready?
Okay.
Do you have yours?
Uh-huh.
I have mine.
Are we going to say it 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Okay. I like
That's
this.
Great.
This is a good idea. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6. I don't know. It's really not that exciting, but
we had a 1 in 10 chance of doing that.
Or is it 1 in 20? I don't know. It's 1 in 10. I know it's 1 in 10. I know math.
Man.
Oh man.
6.
Let's apologize to the listener. I'm going to try to volume that down later. Did you say sorry, Ellie?
I don't know what I said. Sorry for yelling. That's what I said.
Yeah. Well, let's go into the bedroom and say sorry, Ellie, because she's probably awake
sleeping.
right now. Jeez.
You tell me why it's a 6.
It is.
I think I know why it's a 6.
Well, we're supposed, for the listener, we look at this. We rate these experiences on how we come into it for the week that we're doing it. We try to exclude every past experience in doing something similar. So for the most part, I would say I love happy hours. They're pretty good. I think before we did a lot of happy hours prior to having Ellie, and Amy would just go out and get a virgin drink, or it was actually a lot of fun. So I would say over the past years prior to Ellie, we started to do it a lot, and it was a lot of fun as a married couple. You just up and do it. Now,
you do.
With the child, you have to plan. I couldn't even. There's no way I could get off of work and make it off in time to go to a happy hour.
Yeah.
And so it's a little tricky. So we had to kind of plan this one in advance, and by advance I mean like a day in advance. And it was fun. But this particular experience was just, aside from the shitty baby. Oh gosh, I really did not mean to say that. Aside from the crap, because if I say crappy baby, I mean it all sounds the poopy baby. But aside from the poopy baby and the horrific news, just the devastating news of what's going on with my family right now, I was really enjoying myself. It was 5 minutes where if it would have continued the way it was, I would have given it like a 9 or a 10. But I don't know. I was enjoying myself. And
yeah.
So I am kind of cheating. I am kind of keeping into account that if next time we go, we probably won't have that, and we're gonna have a lovely time. And I want to go back to this place. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I mean, that's essentially me. Why? So I figured you would have rated it a little bit lower. Have you noticed that none of our scores really dip below a 5?
We're very positive people.
I think for the most part we are.
Look on the bright side of life,
Yeah. So is it just the awkwardness of just now? If you were to remove the Aggie element, and I guess that was everything, but
no, it wasn't the Aggie element. I think it was more so a feeling of forced, like, companionship. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It felt like the it sounds post-apocalyptic, like you're like the movie The Lobster.
I've still never seen it.
Okay, so movie, basic premise, you haven't found anyone, you can sign up to be in this hotel, and you're forced to fall in love. If you don't fall in love after a certain number of days, you get turned into an animal of your choosing.
Okay.
So, but it just sounds like...
Yeah, kind of.
It sounds like something that's just... It's a mixer. I hate mixers.
It is a mixer. And you know what? Sometimes those are great if you're like... If you're in the right mood for it. I mean, I was there with my friends, so it was still fun.
Sure.
But it was like... I just felt a little... I don't know.
It's awkward.
I like doing what I want when I want, and when I want a conversation to be over, I want it to be over. And you feel kind of like forced to keep going and be like, small talk, what do you do? And then there was like this awkward conversation I had with this guy who, I was like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm in between jobs. I was like, okay. And he goes, oh, well, I have a PhD in civil engineering. And I go, okay. And he goes, and psychology. And I was like, okay. And so I go, so you're a doctor of psychology? And he goes, it's a PhD. And I go, I understand. And he was like, civil engineering and psychology. I was like, is that a combination PhD course?
I
was like, why?
It's not even dual. It's not a dual credit. It's a dual credit PhD.
Yes.
You just gotta really let the bridge kind of let you know what's going on internally.
Yeah, just like Maslow's hierarchy of structural needs.
Keyword structural. I like this.
But yeah, I just kind of looked at him and I was like, I understand what PhD means. I don't know if you do. Like, it was this, like, I was just so confused. And then, anyway, I don't remember his name. I feel bad if he ever listens to this. You were very nice. But,
Dr. Bridge ask. or I don't know. Come on, let's think of there's got to be a perfect name for this dude.
Dr. Fraser Crane.
Oh,
Got it.
Count it. You win the podcast today.
I win.
That's the tiebreaker for sure. I love that. That just brought so much. Just my heart is so warm right now.
Good.
And yet it's so freezing.
Well,
that blanket is like really been wrapped around you even tighter now.
I feel so cozy. One of my favorite parts, though, was when Liz absentmindedly ate the stranger's appetizer, thinking it was like included in the happy hour, like everyone had it.
What?
But they didn't, and she just started eating it.
Go, Liz.
She was like, "Ooh, what's this?" and just started eating it. I was like, "Liz," I'm like, they ordered that food. What are you doing? But I didn't say this. I just looked at her. Because when you looked around, that same appetizer was on like 4 out of 5 of the tables near us. So I think she thought it was just like there.
It was just a popular appetizer.
But it was just a popular appetizer that everybody ordered. And so Liz was just eating their food. She's like, "It's good. You should try it." And I was like, "No, I'm good."
Wow.
It made me happy.
Oh, gosh.
That I forgot about that. That might bump my score a little.
Yeah.
But 6 is what it is.
If you remove the mixer component, not that, it doesn't sound you can really, it doesn't seem like you can detach that. That feels like it feels like the Spider-Man 3 Venom amoeba that crawls onto you. You can't really remove it from Spider-Man. It's like now you're Black Spider-Man. Anyway.
Thank you.
How would you rate it without the mixer?
I would rate it more of like a 7 to 8.
Okay.
7. 8's too generous.
Talking, you love people. You love talking. You love being in the right conversation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right there with you. If someone's being weird, I just want to press the exit button.
Yeah, just like bye, and then you like sink into the floor.
How do you normally get out of those? How do you detach yourself from...
I say, "I need to go to the bathroom."
Oh, okay.
And I leave.
Classic.
Yeah, I did that once. I left. I went to the bathroom and I just never came back.
Jeez.
I was in a conversation that I needed to get out of.
Why can't we be like the British? And because the British are very good at, like, they don't need excuses. They can pretty much just say, that's well, I'm done. Like,
what can they say?
I really don't. I have no good example for this. But there's got to be some phrase out there. We need to evolve to a place where we realize that time is precious. Mm-hmm. If this isn't going anywhere, and if I'm trying to pioneer in, just try to drill into this conversation, and if I'm just hitting, bedrock,
right?
Quit, walk away.
Yeah.
What is the phrase like to get away from this? To stop and just do a 180, turn around.
There's like a few, and then one is using the bathroom. One is, I think my friend just got here. One is, you ask a question that seems like, "Oh, do you know where we order here?" You do a lot. I've had a lot of experience in this and getting out of conversations. Yeah.
It's tricky. It really is. I'm not good at this, and I will sit and I will.
You'll stay.
And I'm just constantly aware of how I'm having to, like, how's my face looking right now? Is this an agreeable face? Does this make it seem like I'm listening? Because I'm not listening to your stupid story about your Civic. I don't care. I really don't care that you just got a 2011 Civic.
The gas mileage is really amazing.
That's so great. I bet that's great. How's your commute? Traffic?
I listened to 106.1 Kiss FM for the Kid Craddock in the morning show. See? You just started dazing. Anyway, so yeah, I win this week.
Gosh, you can have it. So, a lot of fun things this week. Let's get into dumb things.
Okay.
Dumb things.
Dumb things here, dumb things there.
Dumb things in my favorite chair.
And my hair on the...
Where?
Lauren?
Yeah.
I got a goodie.
Okay. Tell me. Prove it. Show me.
Prove it. Don't just tell me. Show me. Amy and I, amongst our many city explorations with Ellie over the past week, one thing that we were really into, we love comic books. You know, it's really weird. We got into this very late in life. It's really weird. And so I don't feel like we completely adopt the comic book persona. But you know, there are definitely comic book people in the world and sometimes I want to be there. I want to throw myself into the world. I'd rather throw myself into the comic book world than the Association of Former Student world, if you kind of get my drift.
Burn. I get it.
Yeah. Well, neither do you. I mean, come on, let's be honest. So we've been to a couple comic book shops. We're reading this really good series that is very reminiscent of Stranger Things, one of the best TV shows that came out this past year.
I have not seen it.
You haven't? Mm-mm. Oh, no.
Don't summarize.
You can almost hear Amy shaking her head in the background.
I think I did.
Just you hear that tail whip.
I heard it.
And it's a great show. It's like Goonies meets Lost meets Super 8 meets Spielberg. It's got that mystery box. What's in the freaking box? Like, what I want to know, but I'm having so much fun with these kids, and they're like getting along, and they're like poking fun. Like, I was there. We used to jab at each other like that. It's a comic book called Paper Girls. It's about these 4 girls that go on this little paper route, and just the weirdest stuff starts happening, and it's so eerie. It's so creepy. I'm even getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It's so stinking good. And so we've kind of been on this hunt for a couple comics. Last weekend, we went to a place in Richardson called Madness Comics and Games. It's apparently one of the largest comic book stores in North Texas. And lo and behold, I would say they're right. It is freakishly huge. So we walked in, and it's kind of partitioned. And this actually has to be one of our episodes. I am going to be a strong advocate that we go and do this. It's half the building is tables for games, for people to bring in their own games or buy games and play them. The other half is comic books.
Oh my gosh.
And so on the right side, only men, probably 13 to 65, just various men on this side playing a multitude of different games. There was so many people playing games. It was like, I would say, like 75 people over there.
My
no, Amy's
gosh.
gonna say no. Probably 40. 40. There's 40. I would say there were a lot of people playing games in this establishment. Very intense games, not Monopoly or Stratego, like the weird ones where you're like a butler and you have to, investigate a ghost, and someone's the ghost, but you have to roll like 8 times in a row to discover who the ghost is. Like those weird games that sound like you would like want to hurt yourself after playing for so long. But we went and we were on the comic book side. So we're checking out all these issues, and we're having fun, and like we're just kind of in it, and they just have such a great selection. And then you just start to hear, every 5 minutes, these people would come up and be like, "Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you?" And like, we're like, "That's great. Y'all have already asked us a million times." And then one of the dudes that asked me earlier, "Can I help you find anything?" He comes walking right behind Amy and I, and of course we got Ellie with us. And he's talking to his buddy, and he's like, "Hey, dude, how's it going?" And his buddy was just like, "I'm doing all right." And the guy that was working there is like, "Dude, that's a sick shirt." He's like, the guy that wasn't working there just says, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "Dude, where'd you get that?" And he's like, "I don't know. My mom got it at Kohl's." And and then the guy that was working at the shop, well, anyway, it's still a sick shirt. And then they walked right past us, and I couldn't even get, they turned the corner, and I didn't even get to see this dude's shirt. So and there were so many weird shirts in that store.
I was going to say, I bet that's like a graphic tee's dream. I want to go just look at the shirt. The length of hair.
Oh, there were various lengths of hair.
And the cargo shorts.
There were so many cargo shorts. My favorite thing was the mom that was shopping for comics for herself and bringing the child along. It was a mom and a child, but the mom was actually getting comics for herself.
That sounds like exactly what you three were doing.
But
am I wrong?
Oh no. Okay.
Is the mom Amy?
I would say there's more of a. We both wanted comics. Maybe it's more 65% me and like 35% Amy wanting to get
So you're
comics.
the man who brought your wife and child along.
Hey, but that's still cooler than going by yourself. Am I right?
True.
I'm like, hey guys.
Do you think there's like
That's
a
what you'll know.
huge like rivalry between the gamers on the one side and the comic book people on the left, and like when everyone leaves at night they like battle it out,
Yeah,
and they like make fun of each other, like at least we're not as dorky as the gamers, and the gamers aren't like at least we're not as lame as the comic book nerds, and they just like have this unknown hatred for
Like
each other,
blood fights.
right?
Yeah, out
Like-
in the parking lot.
Like Anchorman style.
Yes. No touching of the hair or face.
But they all have like wizard hats and like capes.
That's like the gamers do, but like the comic book people like just have like shanks and they're just ready to go.
Yeah, they play dirty.
You play dirty.
Fun image. Madness indeed, this shop.
Where the games are real. Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I liked yours. I think yours is better. Mine happened a long time ago, like a couple weeks ago, months ago, and I was having a really serious phone call. I went outside to go have this phone call. It was with someone like I've been doing some freelance writing. So it was with a potential client. And I'm walking outside, and you don't want to talk about taking on a new job while you're at your current job. So you kind of like go outside, because it was just like a part-time on the side writing thing.
Right.
And as I'm talking, I'm like talking about my experience, and I inhale, and then I just like, and I like start to like choke. A freaking bug like flew straight into my mouth, and I had to just be like, "Excuse me, oh, hold on, please," and like hold on and just be like, like the whole time I'm trying to like present my best self on this little phone interview, and I'm just like, "Excuse me."
You just turn into Inspector Clouseau at that moment.
Like hamburger. I just was like, why now? Dang it. Like, of course a bug flies into my mouth at this very moment.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. So what kind of bug do you think it was?
You know, it died on impact. I ate it. I ate the bug. Like,
Oh, goodness.
The bug did not find its way out.
Do you think he's like there's like a floating chip in your stomach, and he's on the chip as his raft, and he has a little fire?
He's like, someday I'll get out of here.
But he like keeps trying to fly out and sticking to the wall.
Yeah, I have a really sticky esophagus.
I do too.
My doctor told me that.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
It's like-
really?
It's like a fly trap in there. No.
Your parents almost named you Venus. What a doozer.
So yeah,
hate
that was my dumb thing.
It's you know what?
Dumb bug, saboteur, sabotaging bug. Have you ever seen Richie Rich?
I have.
Do you remember the bee that's like the robot bee?
Yes, they get swatted. Yeah.
I'm starting to think it was
robot bee?
It was a robot. It was a robot bug sent to destroy me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And that's gosh.
I know. Ugh.
I've eaten so many gnats lately. Just you said that.
Is that part of your like getting fit? Like,
Oh yeah,
regime?
it's my new protein diet.
Yeah.
You get
Gnats.
both, and so I've been, it's really hard when you're a big dude and you try to get back into running so I was running around the lake and I was doing great with that, and then all of a sudden I just had one day where I just and that's the problem, is going too hard too fast, and so I messed up my ankle, and so
Cameron.
I know. But I wasn't going to let that get me down. I ended up getting... That was like one of your voices. I wasn't going to let that get me down. And I got onto the bike. So I fixed the bike up. And so I've been going around. And there's so many effing gnats in Texas. They're the worst. I was telling Amy, I think I ate about 30 gnats over the course of a week. There's so many.
You need like a mouth guard, like a mouth mesh.
Well, what I'll do is I'll put my shirt over my mouth whenever, and you can kind of see the clusters, but every once in a while, like the sun will just be at the wrong angle and you can't see the clusters, and they just fly in, and it's like 30 at a time. or like you'll just have one that it just gets in. I don't know. There's no way to describe it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The worst is when they get in your eyeballs.
And that's been happening too. When I come home, I'll look down at my arms, and in the hairs of my arms, I'll have like 3 or 4 trapped in there, and they're still kind of alive.
Ew.
Yeah.
You're a Venus flytrap.
I know.
Yeah.
Lauren?
Yeah.
Do you think we should have an old friend on?
I think we should.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the world of crime.
Yeah.
All right.
Carter's Crime Corner.
Forgot about that.
I can't decide what my favorite intro is.
I can tell you which one is not my favorite. I really looked at that file for that jingle, and I did not know what I was gonna. Completely forgot what that was gonna be. But
Welcome back, Amy Carter.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
you're the most chipper of both of us. What is happening?
Well, okay, first of all, I just want to speak up in defense of comic books.
Yeah.
Because it's not really super weird at all. It's an art form and a genre of literature. And
Yes.
it's not weird.
Yes, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, I've never actually read a comic book. Never. But I used to read the Sunday Funnies. Does that count?
Now, did you
No.
ever read Calvin and Hobbes or Garfield?
In the
or
Sunday Funnies.
but never really.
Mm-hmm.
This will be.
We're going to open up your world because it's so not that.
Help me. I'm open to new things.
This is great.
You know what? Maybe my husband is reading a comic book right now. Maybe.
Or playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
Ooh, I hope maybe
He's doing both.
Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh?
he's a real go-getter.
What a man.
Yeah.
Dual-minded.
I bet his name is like
Leonard.
yeah. So Amy,
Me?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I sidetracked a little bit.
No,
but
that's
I
okay.
do have
You
a
Star
crime
Trekked?
to present.
Okay.
let's for those
So-
of you
May I?
Of
I want to
course.
say this.
Okay.
So, for those of you who like to live under a rock, crime podcasts, they're the rage. Crime it's everywhere. It's on our streets. It's on our TV. It's on our 1-hour shows. Your NCISs, your CSIs. It's been there, and now it's invading the podcast spheres, and it's super trendy right now. And we're doing our own segment, so that's why Amy's on. So
and she's our in-house crime enthusiast.
yes, she's our in-house crime expert. She's the cool nerdy one. That's like
It's
also
very edgy.
It is
She's
very.
the cool edgy one.
She's the cool, sexy, edgy one.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's blushing.
She loves it when I say. Anyway, she
Amy,
is sexy. Yes.
What do you
No, come on, y'all. She is.
Amy, will you turn your sexiness off for just a second so Cameron can think straight?
This is about to get very unsexy. So
I think I'm good.
just try to keep it together.
What do you got for us?
This is a really famous incident or series of incidents that happened in England not a long time ago, a while ago, a few years ago. So it's well-trodden territory, but I don't think either of y'all have ever heard of this.
I don't think so.
No.
I haven't told you yet.
That's why you're here.
It is the incident of Sabina and Ursula Eriksson. They're
Sound
two
like Disney characters.
Swedish twins who were suffering from folie à deux, which is
Bless you.
a French term for a shared psychosis, which is this crazy phenomenon of like two people who are so closely linked that one of them can kind of begin with a psychosis and it can be transferred to the other, generally from like the dominant to the more submissive person in the relationship. And
For
so
those of us who aren't quite sure what a psychosis is,
I know what a psychosis is.
please fill us in.
Do you not know, Lauren? Well, I think
some
Amy's
might not know.
Amy's the expert.
I don't know.
on it.
I don't know.
Why don't we let her talk about it?
Basically a delusion.
Okay, so like
a psychotic break, a break
Okay.
from reality.
okay.
Right. So these twins were suffering from the same like psychotic delusions, like sharing the same insanity
Okay.
in a way. So they were Swedish, but they were vacationing in England and traveling by bus. And they, I'm not sure where to look.
How old were they?
Either one of you. I think they're in their 30s.
Oh,
around
they were adults.
They were grown ass women.
Oh.
So they were acting strangely. They like
Should
the
be
bus
turned into
made
the Carter's cuss corner.
they like the bus made a stop. They got off at the stop, and then they were acting so suspiciously that the bus driver wouldn't let them back on the bus because they were like clutching their purses and wouldn't let him search through their bags to make sure there was nothing illegal in there, and just acting really strange in general. So he just kicked them off the bus and left them at the station. And so the police were called. They kind of deemed that these women were harmless and went on their way. And then I guess they continued to act strangely, and the cops came back again. And these cops happened to be on this motorway cops show, which is basically like a British version of Cops on like highway cops.
Motorway cops.
Motorway cops.
So this whole incident is like completely captured on camera.
Whoa.
And it's like there's an insane video which I have seen and I wish I hadn't seen. But go watch it if you're interested. It starts with these women like kind of milling about. They're kind of trying to figure out what's going on, and all of a sudden Ursula runs out into traffic, like onto the highway, and like slams her body into a truck, and her legs get crushed. She can't really move. And then all of a sudden Sabina runs after her into a car, and she's passed out for like 15 minutes. And like the cops are freaking out. They don't know these women have just like given no indication of what they just ran out into traffic.
Oh my gosh.
So they come back around. The Sabina regains consciousness. Ursula's like immobilized. Sorry, this isn't funny.
The term Ursula is immobilized. It sounds like some type of underwater, like Little Mermaid code, like Ursula immobilized. Sorry.
So, but they're resisting treatment. They're screaming at the cops. They're like, I recognize you. I know you're not real. And then they're like screaming at each other, like, watch out. They're trying to steal your organs. And like just madness. And one of them, I think it was Sabina, runs back out into traffic again. Finally, they both get sedated and restrained and sent to the hospital. But apparently Sabina seemed calmer and just a little more normal than Ursula. Mm-hmm. Ursula, I think, was hospitalized.
Which one's immobilized right now? Ursula.
Okay. Ursula was one with the legs.
She was the first one to run out into traffic.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, sorry.
And so she's hospitalized, but Sabina is let go from the police there without any kind of psychiatric evaluation. And so she leaves the police station, and she's just wandering the streets. I think it was in Liverpool, like holding on to all of her belongings in this clear plastic bag that the police gave her, just like wandering around trying to find her sister in the hospital. And she comes upon these two men walking a dog, and she's like being semi-normal, talking to the dog, but like also they're like, what's going on with this lady? She's being really weird. They think maybe she's in trouble. And so they take her in, and
They take her in?
well, no, one of them did.
Oh, okay.
Just, yeah.
Come with me, ma'am. And it like just like removes her Happy New Year or like silly hat. I don't know.
No.
Never mind.
So the man who takes her in, his name is Glenn, and she's like acting.
Just the name Glenn's.
He's like sweet. He's like this good
Aren't
Samaritan.
all the Glens are?
Yeah, I know. It's just like he's Glenn. He's taking care of this
sweet British
woman
man.
who like is clearly in desperate need of something. Who knows? So, but she's acting really weird. She's like offering them cigarettes, but then like as soon as they start smoking them, she snatches them away, and like she says they're poisoned. And they're
oh no.
So then she stays the night with Glenn, and then the next morning, I don't think there was anything strange going on because she was like being psychotic. What?
Nothing. I'm just, this is getting scandalous.
Well, I don't think that was the case, but who knows what happened. So that morning, he goes outside and he runs into his neighbor and asks him for a couple of tea bags, and gets the tea bags from his neighbor and walks back into the house, and Sabina starts stabbing him with his knife, like stabbed him over and over again. And he stumbles back out of the house and tells his neighbor that she stabbed him. And then so she runs away and escapes again, is like wandering the streets. And oh no, I forgot the craziest part. She didn't run away in a normal sense. She ran away with a hammer from Glenn's house and is walking the streets of Liverpool banging her head with the hammer.
Oh,
and so
gosh.
yeah, I know. And so this another good Samaritan passerby, you can't just like let someone walk around hitting themselves with a hammer. So you stop them and say, "Hey, what you doing?"
Yeah, don't.
Hey, stop. Don't do that. But she pulls a roof tile out of her pocket and hits him over the head with it.
That's how you do it.
A roof tile, which she just happened to have in her pocket.
Oh my
I guess.
gosh.
And so he's incapacitated, to say the least.
With the roof tile? But she's got a perfectly good hammer.
She must be strong.
Yeah, I don't know. So at this point, she's being pursued by the police, and she jumped off a bridge. That's how the story ends.
She died?
She did not die.
This doesn't sound like the story ended.
Well, the story ends with her going to trial and never giving up like any information about what was going on between the twins, like what they believed was happening to them, or what they were afraid of, what they were having delusions of. And like she was declared mentally sane for the trial and for like all of the interrogation, but like she was obviously, there were no drugs or anything in their system for any of the incidents for either one of them. So to this day, nobody knows what was happening with either one of them.
Are the two of them, is she in prison?
I didn't do my research on this one.
Did Glenn
How's
survive?
Glenn? Yeah.
Glenn is dead.
Oh.
She stabbed him to
she
death.
murdered him?
Yeah, that's why this is a crime, yo.
He better be in prison. She better be in prison, not Glenn.
I would
Imprison
I would
Glenn.
at least take him in prison alive, Glenn.
Sweet Glenn.
Oh, Glenn.
I think she is in prison. Yeah.
Why does Glenn always
can't
have
remember
to die?
if the sister. I don't.
In
I'm
a
sorry, I don't
strange
have
turn of events, Ursula turns out to not be the crazy murdering one.
I know.
Thought for sure she'd be an
I mean,
evil
they're
sea
both
witch.
crazy.
Right.
Who knows what Ursula might have done if she had been released?
That is terrifying.
Right? Yeah.
Terrifying.
So don't get too close to any one person. They could make
Seriously.
you crazy.
Oh gosh.
I'm just glad I don't have a twin.
I mean,
I always thought I wanted a twin as a young child, but that's bad news.
I wonder. And when did this happen? You said like 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
I don't know. It looks like the 90s when you watch the...
Okay. Which is like
footage.
20 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
I guess so.
Yeah, almost.
Or it could be the aughts.
The what?
The OOs.
Oh. Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
Oh.
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 This wasn't a very uplifting segment. I'm sorry.
No, that's
but
okay.
I just like the bit about the roof tile.
I know. What a strange...
How does one put if I handed you a roof tile, could
Maybe
you
she
get
had
it into your
cargo
pocket, Lauren?
pockets.
Not... I don't have any pockets right now. Shoot.
Yeah.
In my
geez.
purse.
Sounds like a fun experience.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that there's an ocean in between us and them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
That's great. Thank you,
Hey.
We
Atlantic.
should, and it's an island, so that's just good for everyone.
Yeah,
I always feel good that,
Yeah.
they're a little crazy,
Yeah.
a little cuckoo.
I lived amongst them for a while.
You did.
Yeah. But remember, they were Swedish. They were from the
Swedish.
Baltic nations.
Ah,
Cuckoo.
jeez.
You heard it here. All Swedes are crazy.
Them crazy Swedes.
Guys,
It's been great.
so I think we got enough nightmare stuff to fill our dreams. Dinosaurs, crazy twins,
Ursula, Sabina,
yeah,
roof
gosh.
tiles,
and aliens.
aliens.
I just want to say they asked me to do this.
We did.
Oh, Ursula.
Yeah, y'all wanted this story to happen.
We did.
Oh, sure.
I
This
found
is
it
popular.
fascinating. I just sat here and listened.
Yeah, I like story time. I mean, I'm down with that.
Me too.
Well, I think we've had a nice, fun, entertaining, time here on the podcast.
Agreed. Amy, thank you for joining us for Carter's Crime Corner.
Hey,
Carter's Crime Corner.
well, that about does it for this week of Unhitched or Dad Trying. Please join us again next week when we'll be doing something cool. Lauren, how do people find you on the internet world?
Wow, you're doing so great. You can find me on Instagram at Neateroni, Neateroni.
And Amy, where do people find you on the internet world? Well, I'm at Cam Carter 2010 if you want to look at my Instagram or Twitter. Amy? Well, that about does it for Unhitched or Dad Trying. Please, again, join us next week for another exciting episode. We'll see you later.
Amy Carter Calligraphy. Bye.